The online dictionary tells us which words are being looked up, but also in what volume. And so we try to have a data-driven list that explains what words sent people to the dictionary in the past year. And so the word of the year for 2024 for Merriam-Webster is polarization. And obviously this year was a year with an important election. The elections were clearly the story of the year. And polarization is the term that has been used by everyone.
Can be tied back to the polarization.
Because people are very polarized.
The world today is very polarized.
I will also say that polarization, it means division, but it's a very specific kind of division. I mean, the word division just means split, so that could be divided very closely. There are other words like tribalism, which means that people have sort of pre-existing ideas and ideals. But polarization really means separated. It means the extremes, which we identify as poles, which originally, of course, was a geographic reference or a mathematical reference. I think that idea of the dictionary as being a kind of backstop for meaning in an era of fake news, alternative facts, whatever you want to say about the value of a word's meaning in the culture, at least the dictionary can measure that meaning in a very specific way for everyone. This is a word that came in the 1800s, much later, because when they were starting to talk about polarization, you were talking about both visual science, so and that's why we say polarized sunglasses, for example, and also, of course, electricity itself. That the way that we use electricity, it depends upon two different poles, and so it came in as a scientific term. And it came in the early 1800s. And I find that interesting just because in 1,000 years of English, that's a pretty young word, actually.